Philadelphia, Boston, 1-2 in block shots. Parish, McHale, and 9th in the league is Caldwell Jones, and Julius Erving is 10th. But Parish had the big block shot at the end of the period.
Well, here's Mike Banham. There's a shot. And that's kind of what happens with those kind of things is not so much that it stops the basket, which is important, but it makes the guys have to think the next time in there. Here's another angle of the same play right there.
Start of the second period, Dick Stockton and Bill Russell at Boston Garden. Philadelphia shot 32% in the first period. Robert Parish, 8 points, the leading Boston scorer, and Andrew Toney leads the Sixers with 9. Boston was under 50%. Kevin McHale, number 32, comes into the ball game, and he made the big plays against the Bullets in that semifinal series. There you see Kevin McHale in his second year from Minnesota. Block shot. Leader. They like to run Carr low. Clint Richardson likes to play inside, but there's the favorite play to run Carr low and Bird outside. Biggest lead in the ball game right now. 8 points for the Celtics. Toney outside. Philadelphia cold shooting right now. Dawkins with 7 seconds on the shot clock over Parish. McHale the rebound. Banham might have gotten hit in the face. And Larry Bird. McHale the offensive rebound. Keeps it alive to Bird outside. McHale posting Banham low. Double team with Clint Richardson. A lot of time on the shot clock. Carr will fire it up. And we will have a loose ball foul inside. That's Hutch McHale on the board.
He's in a position there. He's got good position. Holding it up. Little push off. Let me go. And here is the other end. On the offensive end. That was a defensive end. Now here is the offensive end. Give Clint a pretty good shot there. He's inside there.
Back to live action. McHale goes up in his fouls. Mike Banham committed the last foul for Philadelphia. It was their first team foul, and this one is on Clint Richardson, number 1 on the third-year player from Seattle. And now Kevin McHale will go to the line. McHale started when Larry Bird was out. Bird was out for 5 games with a fractured cheekbone against Milwaukee, and then Coach Fitch decided to keep Bird coming off the bench, giving him the outside shot. And when he had McHale starting it forward and a backcourt tandem of Carr and Henderson, he had a pretty good defensive unit in there.
That's when they won that tear and won 18 straight.
1 of 2 for McHale. Boston by 9. Inching up again to their biggest lead. Banham to Bobby Jones. Bird guarding him. And Dawkins has it blocked by Parish. And we'll have a Boston foul inside. But give Parish another block shot.
And Mike Banham another offensive rebound.
McHale commits the foul, his first. And it is the first team foul on the Celtics with less than 2 minutes gone by in the second period.
You know, it's really funny. These teams have played each other enough so they know everything the other guy's going to do.
Everything.
And they still have to do it.
Banham had 16 points in the first game of the Milwaukee series and 12 in the clincher Friday night with 6 for 8 shooting from the field. He misses both free throws. And Bobby Jones saves it. Banham wide open. Does the right thing. Goes inside. He can't get it going. So Banham misses the free throws and the shot in close.
And he was intimidated by Robert Parish on that last shot because that's not the shot he wanted to take.
Julius coming back in. Sixers won Irving, who had 6 points in the first quarter. Carr looking for McHale low against Bobby Jones. And Dawkins gets it out the cheeks. This is what Philadelphia wants. It's 3-on-3. And Tiny Archibald. Foul. Foul on Tiny with cheeks going right by him. First on Tiny.
Now that referee had to really be moving himself to keep up with that play, and he managed it because that was a good call.
Rick Robey will come into the ball game when we come back after a timeout. Robey, after really being on the bench most of the second half of the year, came on toward the end of the campaign and saw considerable action against Washington, and he can do a lot of good things. So 10:07 remaining in the second period. Boston is up by 9. The overriding story perhaps on the year, the Celtics, the last team to repeat. Bill Russell was the coach of the Celtics' twin victories. That was 14 years ago. And Julius Erving, who really transformed the Philadelphia franchise when he went from the Nets to the Sixers, would like nothing more than a championship ring. And he really has, in 6 years, has been an all-star and the leading scorer on this ball club. And when he demonstrated again in the Milwaukee series, when he doesn't have a shooting eye, he can pass, he can rebound, and do it for you. Such a charismatic player. And as we told you, Robey is in the ball game for Boston. Clint Richardson controlling outside. Gerald Henderson, number 43, who started many games at guard for the Celtics when Tiny Archibald was hurt, is in there now. Tiny is with Henderson, and Bird steals the ball from Cheeks. Leading pass to Henderson, and Dawkins held him. Dawkins held Gerald Henderson.
Now here's that long pass. There's Bird's guarding Julius. Now Julius got good inside position there, and that's why there's a good defense. Now watch, he takes a look up, he looks up, now he sees it, and that's when he makes that long pass. He's one of the best in the league in making that long pass.
McHale double team, Tiny Archibald, short, Bird keeps it going. Steele, Phantom. There have been only 4 fast break points, 2 on each side, until this. Julius Erving.
I don't think he's going to block that one.
That is only the 6th fast break point in the ball game on 2 teams that like to run. Philadelphia is shooting just about 30% from the field so far. Julius with one of the brilliant plays. Robey against Dawkins. Basket counts and a foul on Dawkins, and that'll be 3 personals on number 53.
Now there's a problem developing for Philadelphia because Caldwell Jones, unusually as it is, has 3 fouls. And now they have 3 fouls on both their big men. And that could be a problem because Boston has some good inside play. Now here's a fast break. Now Julius says, you know, he sees Kevin McHale coming up from the weak side over there, trying to block it, and not today.
3-point play by Rick Robey, and the Celtics have a 10-point lead, biggest lead of the ball game. Winding down to 9:09, 9:05, 3 minutes going by, second period. Another turnover, and Bird comes up with the ball.
A couple times that the Sixers have thrown the ball away when they had a man open. And that's one of the times I advocate using the bounce pass. Because if the only way you get intercept is to kick it, then you get the ball back at least.
Robey trying to post Dawkins, who has 3 personal fouls. And Robey gets the basket. Rick Robey is a bull, and he can hurt you inside. He has hit 10 of 18 from the field coming into this ball game. As we told you already, he's come on late in the season.
And Dawkins is not one of the best players playing with 3 fouls.
Weeks goes all the way in, blocked by Larry Bird, and a Boston fast break. And Tiny Archibald went without the ball, and it dribbled it off his foot.
It was actually off of Julius Erving's foot, but I think the referee missed it.
Coming in the ball game now is McHale, probably argues that point, is Caldwell Jones.
And a timeout by Philadelphia.
And Andrew Toney. Now we may see Earl Puritan from Detroit if Philadelphia continues to have foul troubles with their big men. He did not play against Milwaukee. We could see him here.
You may see him, but he is not big enough to play with these guys in the front line of the Celtics, so that could be a problem.
Only Bill Russell would have seen this. The refs didn't see it. No one saw it. Russ saw it. This ball was dribbled off of the heel of Julius Erving's foot. It wasn't turned over by Tiny, and now you'll see it even better from another angle. As you will see, the left foot of Julius Erving bounces off. Well, no one's perfect. These officials do a great job, but that was off of Julius Erving.
Well, no, that was right in front of me. Oh, boy.
We're going to talk about Maurice Cheeks and the import he has had in this series. Cheeks has averaged 14.5 points per game and has really been a key to the 76ers year, but so far they've kept him in check. 1 of 5 from the field for 2 points and no assists. Philadelphia can't operate that way.
I'll tell you about Maurice Cheeks. If he gets aggressive offense and takes the shots that he has, that's the only way they're going to be able to beat Philadelphia. He's going to have to shoot more. Because he's an excellent shooter. He takes good shots, and he very rarely takes a shot when his team is out of position so that they can't react. But he's going to have to be more aggressive if they're going to turn this around and catch these guys. I think that he is one of the most important guys out there in taking shots.
Robey committed the foul, and Dawkins, as you saw, missed the first free throw. He went from Evans High School in Orlando right to the pros 7 years ago, and maybe people expect too much of him. He has been an enigmatic player for Philadelphia, and not what everyone anticipated. And of course, he really hasn't had the coaching because of lack of college. Pick and roll, beautiful. Bird to McHale.
And that was a great pass. Look at the velocity on it.
Under 8 minutes to go, 7:45 in the second period. A 13-point Boston lead. And Henderson or Carr tried to steal the ball and managed to knock it over to Henderson. Boston is rolling now, and they're managing to get the open man. Tony is hurt and limping. Carr misses the shot and is put in at the other end by McHale. But Andrew Tony is limping out on the court. And we have a timeout. Andrew Tony limps to the sideline.
Now here's the play where he went down right there. And it looks like his feet got kicked out from under him. And he's grabbing his...
Timeout, 7:26 remaining. It's 42-27, Boston in control of the game. But right now, let's go to CBS News in New York for a special report on the Falklands Islands crisis. Back at Boston Garden, Andrew Tony on the sidelines, limping, went out of the ball game and has been replaced by Mike Bantam. So with Cheeks, it looks as if Cheeks and Julius Erving will be in the backcourt for Philadelphia now, Russ.
And not a bad backcourt, but even it is becoming even more important and apparent that they're going to have to get more offense and more shooting out of Maurice Cheeks.
What do they get with Erving in the backcourt? What does it mean?
Well, they get the good rebounding, and the trouble is defensively, really, because it doesn't make any difference between a guard and a forward where the guy plays. You can run the plays from out there, but his duty is running a play. Carr on him now. Carr runs into a pick with, and then he has to foul to catch up. But the difference is defensively, who's he going to guard?
There's the steal. Henderson going to the hoop. Celtics rolling here. Robey, by the way, had committed the foul at the other end, and it's 44-27 with 7:10 to go in the half.
And the difference is, defensively, is the speed of your opponent that you have to guard between guard and forward. The guards are usually quicker than the forward, so you have problems defensively because of speed.
Sixers have scored only 3 points in the first 5 minutes of this period. Dawkins misses inside, but gets another chance and scores. They are really shooting horrendous basketball so far. They are 10 for 32 from the field. Now, by having Erving playing guard, they also have a bigger front line, which helps with Bantam, Dawkins, and Bobby Jones, with Julius playing in the backcourt, and that's something Philadelphia needs off the glass.
His Bird's guard trying to go to the hoop. The ball's knocked off his lead there by Bantam.
Bird has 7 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a blocked shot. And Robey gets the bucket. Can come at you so many ways with McHale and Robey off the bench. Rick is 3 for 3 from the field. He has 7 points, and his season's average was more than 5.5. So he's already exceeded that. Julius over Carr outside, and Philadelphia could use that kind of shooting.
And if they needed, Julius will give it to him.
17-point lead, and Robey comes right back. And Philadelphia is just not handling the Celtics on the break, and they're just pounding the board, passing the biggest lead, 17 points, 6:02 to go, a timeout.
And that's one of the problems you have when you go to the big lineup is a transition game, especially when you got to go from offense to defense and vice versa. The other team is quicker for the 5 men, and so you end up with mismatches of guys not picking up with guys, and so you end up with a guy like Robey underneath, where guys try to find their man and try to sort out the defense.
The Sixers have been a hot ball club. They have won 10 out of 12 going back to the regular season and 6 out of 8 in the playoffs. They swept Atlanta in 2 straight and beat Milwaukee in 6. Here's the break again.
And there's Robey free, and there he is dunking the ball. Wow.
Robey has 9 points, almost double his regular season average. And Earl Curran, number 25.
Just made a backcourt violation. He caught the ball, and his momentum carried him in the backcourt.
So Earl Curran, number 25.
Now, what they should not do is let Maurice Cheeks take the ball out of bounds. He should be the guy to get the ball.
Loop it in to McHale. Henderson is in to McHale, and a goaltender against Curtin. Right at the basket to Kevin McHale. And Philadelphia can't stop the Celtics. It was a 19-point lead, 50-31. Earl Curtin from Detroit picked on the third round as a junior eligible. Played good ball when Dawkins first went out off the defensive glass, but he doesn't have the experience you need in this kind of a series. And traveling against Bobby Jones.
Now, this lineup is a makeshift lineup. And this is why the mistakes are going to be made. And a lot of them are going to be made defensively.
Irving tried to get it to Bobby Jones. That was not a shot, but a pass. And here's McHale. What can you do? Boston showing why people say they're a great basketball team. They proved it in the regular season, but the playoffs are another story. Look at that, scoring off the bench. And Maurice Cheeks fires outside and hits, and as Bill Russell said moments ago, Cheeks has to become more aggressive. He has 4 points in the game. You can paint this ball game green so far. 4:40 remaining in the first half. Bird, short, and Cheeks on the move. Henderson will pick him up. If anyone picks him up. And Cheeks getting hot. They need him. Maurice Cheeks, and now Boston calls a timeout following Maurice Cheeks, who has his motor running. But Boston maintains the big lead with 4:27 remaining in the first half.
They're going to have to get a lot more of that from Maurice Cheeks, because he can pick that team up as much as anyone except maybe Julius Irving.
And they call the Colonial Hogan's Alley. Hall of Famer Ben Hogan won 5 crowns on that course. The Colonial National Invitation next week on CBS Fort Worth, Texas. Check your local listing. Kevin McHale came over to the Boston Celtics along with Robert Parish. McHale was the 3rd player picked in the draft. The Celtics gave up their pick number 1. Not a bad deal, Russ.
Not bad at all. You know, he does a lot of things, and one of the things is he's a great intimidator because he's one of the league leaders in block shots, besides his rebounding and scoring.
Big play man, proved it against the Bullets. Bird looking inside, 4:10 to go. Philadelphia scored 4 in a row. Robey is double-teamed by Curran and Andrew Toney. 3-point attempt, and picked up and in by Robey. Philadelphia simply is not keeping Boston off the offensive glass at all.
Well, they have a small team out there. The biggest guy out there is Robert Jones and Eric Puritan, and they don't have enough golf.
Inside to Toney, and a good pass from Bobby Jones to Andrew Toney. Rick Robey, coming off the bench, has 11 points on 5 of 6 shooting. So the bench has been a big story for the Celtics. Playoff high, 14 points. There's a chance to break that. Henderson to McHale, turnaround. The rebound, Curran. I'll tell you, Boston will make 2 or 3 passes within a 5-foot radius. Watch it. Larry Bird got out of the way on Julius Irving's drive to the hoop. Julius with 12.
Now they need a few more of those just to get them revved up.
15-point Boston lead was 21 just a couple of minutes ago. McHale going to the hoop. Tipped up. Missed by Robey. Julius comes down with it. Bobby Jones is Bird back. Jones misses. McHale, and they go the other way as Julius slow getting back in the action. Bird pulls up. 9 for Larry Bird. Robey with 11 is the leading scorer for Boston. Irving with 12, the top scorer for Philly. 2:42 remaining. First half. Celtics have dominated. Toney. Earl Curran. Bird, long pass, but Cheeks is there as a safety man. Philadelphia will have to get back to stop the long passes. They did it there. But the Sixers just can't put the ball in the hoop consistently enough. Henderson with the ball. Billy Cunningham trying to find the combination, and he'll have halftime to do it. Team by no means out of this ball game. He knows what blowing a lead means. He's been in the other shoe. Bird, and good defense by Curran and Irving inside. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Toney leaves it for Julius. Curran puts it through in a basket. counts in a foul, too.
And that was a great pass by Irving. It looked like a shot, but that was a pass. Now, here's that fast break with Julius. He takes off the foul line.
Henderson commits the foul on an awesome play of Julius. M.L. Carr goes out with 8 points and is replaced by number 42, Chris Ford. There's Henderson, who has 2, but Chris Ford is the player who replaces M.L. Carr. Ford started 52 games this season, then had a lower back injury and never got back into the starting lineup. But a stabilizer and a good team player who set an example to the younger players by taking his medicine and coming off the bench. He could have caused a lot of problems, and Bill Fitch is grateful for that. Timeout, 1:50 to go in the half. It's a 14-point Boston lead, and Earl Curidan has helped spark him a little bit, Russ.
Well, he's getting into the flow of the game. He hasn't played much in the games before, so it's hard if you haven't played in a week or so really in competition. Because nothing can take, practice is one thing, but it being in competition, so it takes a little time to get into the game.
Averaged a little more than 2 minutes against Milwaukee. Coming up at halftime, a preview of the Preakness, the second jewel of horse racing's Triple Crown. Our rebound feature will be on former Cincinnati great Jack Twyman. And, of course, Brent will have all the scores and highlights of today's events, including the London Marathon. So, Brent Musburger will bring you up to date at halftime from CBS Sports Control at the news desk. Tiny Archibald back in the ball game.
Now, this last minute and a half is going to be very important to both of these teams.
McHale. What does Philly have to do? Get to 10? Cheeks all the way, short on the layup. Bird has Robey. Ford open.
Now, it didn't help. It doesn't make. They don't have. It would be better to get into 10. You'd like that, but to go into halftime on a roll is what's important, especially for Philadelphia.
16-point lead, double team Andrew Toney, and Earl Curidan gets the bucket inside. Bird, by the way, 5 for 11 from the field. 14-point lead now with 1 minute remaining in the first half. And a whistle before the shot by Robey. It is on the Sixers, and that will be Philadelphia's 15th foul. So Robey will go to the line to shoot 1 in the penalty as Curidan picks up his first personal.
And he is not normally a good free throw shooter.
But at the second half, toward the end of the year, he was over 60% to raise his free throw percentage to respectability, and for him it's like a little 53%, but he was over 60. Maybe he got bounces like that. That's how he got back up to 53. He was well below for a while.
That'll get you over 50.
He's been on championship teams at Kentucky and the NIT and the NCAA, and of course member of the championship team last year, and he's 3 for 3 from the line in this game, and 13 points. Oh. Under a minute to play. You see it. 16-point Boston lead. Bird knocks the ball away and steals it. Credited to Bird. Chris Ford slows it up with 20 seconds on the shot clock. 16 on the shot clock.
3 times I can remember the first half, the Philadelphians had a man open. They try to get the pass to him, and they use the wrong kind of pass.
Ford for 2. Short. Bird has it again, baseline. And they can use up the clock. Robey hits outside. What a game for Rick Robey, who came to Boston from Indiana. And a deal for Billy Knight, and what a deal that was for the Celtics. He has 15 points. A career high in the playoffs for Rick Robey from the University of Kentucky. Final second. In the crowd, Toney, the cheeks is clobbered inside. Moses last year was hampered by migraine headaches, which limited his effectiveness in the playoffs. He's all right now, but the Celtics are just doing a job on him. And Rick Robey, who can set picks, quite a bull outside, is really off to a great start here.
And they have the fast break working to perfection. So I guess the couple of days off hasn't hurt him at all.
Robey, 3 personals, and Cheeks has another one coming. 3 seconds remaining. Cunningham with Jack McMahon and Matt Dukas. The brain trust on the Philadelphia bench, thinking what he'll discuss with his team in the intermission. 1 of 2. Bird comes out with it. And that's history. First half of a Philadelphia-Boston series. The 12th series in history between these two clubs. And it's been Boston all the way, 62-45, with Rick Robey coming off the bench with McHale. Brent Musburger will take it out of commercial. We're back at halftime. It's the Celtics 62, the Sixers 45. This one's not over, although Boston's controlled. We want to remind you at the conclusion of today's game, each of our NBA telecasts during the year, to select the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Miller High Life will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. Bill will be selecting the MVP, and today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. A look at the halftime statistics. As we've told you all along, Philadelphia hasn't shot all that well. Boston's not up to 50%. Big rebounding edge by 8. The turnovers favor Boston, and the assist as well. Bill is going to interpret all this in a moment. Looking at the scoring, Irving with 12, Tony with 11. Look at the Jones boys at the bottom, 0 for them. And for the Boston Celtics, Rick Robey, a playoff high for him, and also matching his season's high with 15, Bird with 11, McHale off the bench with 9, and so it goes down the line. Now, one thing I've noticed is that you're a very short man. I'm sitting next to you, and I feel like I'm 6'9", and you're only 6'1".
Well, this chair is the one I used when I played my rookie year. No bottom.
No bottom at all.
Chair as old as I am.
All right, quickly, the points of the game.
Well, I think that Philadelphia, if they're going to come back, they have to be more aggressive offensively. Now, they have had key foul trouble. And what I mean, they got two guys in the same position with 3 fouls. Daryl Dawkins does not play well with foul trouble because he's too passive then. Okay, with he and Caldwell Jones both in foul trouble, they are not getting good center play. And that's key to them, is to get good play in the center position. That's rebounding, that's passing, that's setting screens, and the guys that are replacing them can't make it up. And the other thing is, now, Boston, as both teams, benefit from their defense. Their offenses are fed by the defense. Now, Boston has been very aggressive defensively, and Rick Robey has taken advantage of the fact that Philadelphia is not coordinated defensively. Because of the makeshift combination, they are missing assignments, and he's the guy that's getting open, and he's taking full advantage of it.
So, in other words, Parish and Robey have really dominated Caldwell Jones and Daryl Dawkins.
No contest there at the first half.
Okay.
And that's why, and these two guys, Daryl Dawkins and Caldwell Jones, are so important to Philadelphia that you can see that those guys not playing, they're not in the game.
Big game for Rick Robey so far.